Here for this at all. No, not at all. We're here for that. Walk around and get in position. We're here for this lovely church. Right here. It's a beautiful church called the Church of St. James, and I hope you're ready to have your minds blown. Because what I'll tell you in a little bit will be amazing, mesmerizing, perplexing, absolutely astonishing, fantastic, and it might blow your minds. This church was originally a Franciscan monastery from the 13th century, and it was turned into a Catholic church in the 14th. The Baroque decorations of the outside are from the 17th century, and it was completely rebuilt inside in the 18th century, so it's completely Baroque, with some late Rococo thrown into good measure. But that's not the mind-blowing part, that comes now. Do you think you're ready for this? I hope you are, I sure do. Okay, here goes. This church, the Church of St. James, is the second longest church in Prague. Yeah, it's very long. Also, there's a human arm hanging inside on a little chain. And I believe in democracy, so you guys can decide. Quick show of hands, no pun intended. Who wants to hear more about the arm? Okay, and to make this official, who wants to hear more about the length? Oh, there's still a joker or two. Good. Well, the arm wins again, as always, which is a good thing. I don't know anything about it, but it's just very long. But the arm story. Well, here goes. The legend says in the year 1400, a thief was making his way down this street in the middle of the night. Maybe he was walking to a pub, maybe he was walking from a pub. You never know with the Czechs. But we know he noticed the door to this church was open, and he thought, how convenient, I could go in and steal something. That's what I do after all. So he walked in, and he noticed at the end of this long church, there was a beautiful statue of the Virgin Mary with an amazingly beautiful golden necklace around her neck. And he thought, I'm rich, thank God. He made his way to the end of this very long church, and he reached for the necklace. And just as he was about to grab it, the statue came to life and grabbed his arm instead. And he was shocked at first, but then he realized he's got a bit of a problem. Anyone can just come in and see what's going on. So he starts struggling, trying to break free somehow, but it's no use. The statue's grip is too tight. So then he starts praying. He says, please forgive me, beautiful statue, please. I'm sorry, I know thou shalt not steal. I just kind of forgot. Please believe me, I'll never steal again. And I'll go to church every Sunday. Nothing happened, so he starts adding more. I'll go to church every Saturday, every Friday if I'm not too busy, please. And he keeps promising more and more and more. He promises everything to the statue, but nothing changes its mind. In the end, he is completely exhausted from all that praying, so he just falls asleep. Right there, still hanging. In the morning, the priest wakes up. He takes a walk around his church, sees the thief there. It's very obvious what's going on, so he comes to him and says, what's going on here, son? And the thief says, I'm sorry, Father, I don't usually steal things, but it was so beautiful I couldn't resist. Please let me go. And the priest says, well, that's not up to me, is it? That's to the statue. We tried to convince her somehow. And the thief says, yes, I did, but she just won't listen. So he says, okay, don't worry, we'll think of something. And they stand there thinking for 10 minutes. And then the priest says, oh, I have an idea. You son, wait here. Well, you're probably not going anywhere. And he walks away and comes back in some 10 minutes with some soap and some oil. He soaps the arm. Nothing. He oils the arm. Nothing. He soaps the arm again to clean off the oil, but they're stuck. Only for a few minutes. Then the thief says, Father, it didn't work out with the soap and the oil. Maybe, do you think it's time that we cut up the arm? And the priest says, oh, brilliant idea, son, I'll bring the saw. Runs away, comes back in 30 seconds with a nice sharp saw, and he starts cutting. And the thief screams. He says, Father, I meant the statue's arm. And the priest says, son, calm down. I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. Because, you see, can you imagine? You try to steal her necklace on the wall, and it becomes very obvious that this is a synagogue. So why does it look like a mosque? There's actually a very good reason for this. It's called the Spanish synagogue, and it's from the 19th century, built in the so-called Moorish style of architecture. And it's testament to a very different time. You see, in the Middle Ages, in today's Spain, you had a Muslim kingdom there called Al-Andalus. And what often happened was that Jewish people were forced to leave their homes. And when this happened in Spain, they had nowhere else to go but this Muslim kingdom. And when they arrived there, they were very surprised to find that there they were not only tolerated, they were accepted. and treated as equals. They called this, that's because of the two exhibitions that are inside the Pinkas synagogue, and they both sound surprisingly simple. The first one is simply 77,000 names and dates, but unfortunately not just any names and dates, it's the 77,000 names, birth dates and death dates, if they're known, of the Jewish victims of the Holocaust in Czechoslovakia. And the thing is, the Nazis didn't just want to kill these people, they wanted to erase them from history if they could. So they'd burn their passports, they'd burn their birth certificates, they'd burn everything they could burn. And for many of these 77,000 people, those children actually survived Terezin. But what the people in Terezin didn't know was what kind of camps the people were sent. You see them on that screen that it's not live, but they can play that. It's got some of the best acoustics you can get in Prague. It's also a concert hall, so if you're looking for a concert, they've got concerts here. I think it's Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Now, I told you at the beginning I'm going to show you 5 concert halls. It was well worth the wait. It's an amazingly beautiful cathedral, and if you go up there with us on the tour, then we'll take you in. But if you go on your own, please make sure German soldiers storm the radio headquarters. They run in and get lost immediately because the Czechs removed all the signs throughout the building. It's a very Czech thing. About 15 minutes after the Germans, a group of Czech policemen arrive, now fighting for the resistance. They don't know why the German soldiers are there. They run in and fighting breaks out. Real terrible, intense, close quarters fighting. The situation is a mess, and the announcer on the radio is asking for anyone with any weapon of any kind to come help fight for the radio. And more Czechs flood into the building, and eventually they manage to push the German soldiers into the basement. But there, they kind of get stuck, because a basement is a very good defensive position. If you've seen *Inglourious Basterds* by Quentin Tarantino, you know everything there is to know about fighting in basements. And the Czechs didn't really want to try to fight. It's all the sense in the world. Actually, right now they're called in the UK obstructions, parliamentary obstructions or something. Anyway, it's just a tactic to slow down everything. So no, sit. But I'm out of the way of your cameras.
Oh. This is official. Oh, I hope they sit. Hopefully. It's really get awfully boring just standing there. Chilton. This must be so annoying. Do we clap?
No, you don't.
I don't think so.
You just pretend this never happened. Like everyone.